shows. Welcome one, welcome all. It's time for another exciting edition of The Show with No Name on Vaughn Radio. Now hold on to your hats, because it's time for liftoff. Let's go. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Is there an echo? Oh, yeah, there is.
Ignition. Liftoff.
Here we go.
Liftoff. 30 minutes after the hour.
Come on, baby. Get ready. Hold on to your hat. Strap on your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your hat. And get ready for the ride of your life. The show with no name time on Vaughn Radio. It's the show with no name. Let's go. Yes. Welcome, Show with No Namers. Awesome to have you with us again for another English extravaganza. We're going to laugh, we're going to play, and most of all, we're going to learn tons of totally native English as we do every day. And even though I don't use social media very much these days, sometimes when I open it up, I've got some really amazing comments coming from you guys. So thank you so much for making my day a little more magical. A big shout out to First Pinietti, who dropped me a comment on Twitter, X, whatever the hell you want to call it, saying that he really appreciates the vocabulary he learns with us here on the Show with No Name. As he's put it, you'll never learn this stuff on Duolingo. And also, I don't know very much about Duolingo. I've never used it. But I heard like the idea behind it is not really to teach you, but to keep you addicted. You know, like the whole, what is it? Facebook, Instagram, the sounds, the images, keep you coming back for more. But the question is, can you hold a conversation? I don't know. Again, I've never used it. But also I know recently they got a lot of flack, as we call it. They got a lot of flack for, using AI, but I guess everybody's using it, but overusing AI. And, the whole goal is to sound natural, not like a computer, right? So, again, if you guys use it and it helps you, awesome. Hey, listen, if it works for you, it works. But as I said, since you hear about this stuff, and believe me, I hear a lot more about the industry than I care to. Because, as you know, Facebook, Instagram, all these, they have your algorithm, as they call it. That's like the $1 million word these days. And they see that my hashtags are English and this and that. So that's the information they show me lots of times, whether I'm interested or not. In fact, I had to block a lot of English accounts on Instagram, not because they were rude or anything like that, but I was being bombarded by these aprende inglés con 5 palabras, all of this stuff, which I don't care what you're selling. If you're dropping these kinds of marketing lines, well, and if it sounds too good to be true, as we know, it probably is too good to be true. But here on Vaughn, we believe in slow cooking your English. We believe it's not something you learn in 1 month with 1,000 words, but it's something that you take on, que asumes, and it becomes part of your life. And I'm not just talking about the language, I'm talking about the culture and the pop culture that goes along with the language, which is why we look at music, movies, humor, even childhood fairy tales and songs, because, well, that's part of the language. All right, so welcome aboard, my friends. And we are going to kick things off with today's Say What soundbite. Say what? Yes. All right, my amigos, this is your Say What soundbite. Also, if you're thinking of participating in the question of the week, what can I say except we're full. Overbooking, you say in Spanish. Bueno, es un anglicismo. But we've already got 8 people who have participated, and we don't want to have too much. I mean, if you want to still participate, you can, but just know that we are full here. We've got a lot of people that we're going to hear from on Friday's show. And thank you. Thank you to Alfonso, Anix, Cristina Chicago, Marisol, Durani, Nuria, Elena, and Chris Valrol. They've all participated, and all of them are practicing their speaking. Thank you for making me proud, students. Again, I'm not going to tell you not to participate. If you're dying to participate, do it. But we've got plenty. Tenemos de sobra ya. And I don't want to spend the whole show doing that section. So the idea is, if you'd like to participate every week, you can do that. You can do it really simply. You don't need very much. You need a smartphone or any recording device for that matter. And then you can send that audio to my email address, which is aalonso@grupovon.com. This week's is, what's your favorite indoor activity? Let me give you next week's, and this way we can start working on that. You early birds, los que se adelantan. It also can be madrugador, but in this case, it's people who get things done quickly, efficiently, and you know who you are. I've got to say, big shout out to Anix. She's usually the first one to send me her question of the week every week. I don't know if it's because she is really good at time management. She's an eager beaver, entusiasta con muchas ganas. But you can tell when you listen to her speak that she has got that confidence you need, not just to speak a foreign language, but that you need in any situation in life. Next week's question of the week is, what is your most used emoji? That's right. What is your most used emoji? And of course, explain why. Oh, I always use the devil horns, the rock and roll one, or the 100. I'm telling you the ones I use a lot. I use the, because a lot of people do thumbs up, but I like to do the old horns there. Like, rock and roll. Also, another one I love is 100, because it means I agree with you 100% on what you're saying. So what is your most used emoji and why? Tell us why you tend to use that emoji over all the other ones. That is for next week's question of the week for all of my early birds who want to get it done. Remember, if you do it now, you've got the whole weekend to do it as well, so it won't cut into your work week and your busy schedule. All right, now, what have we got for today's Say What soundbite? Perhaps one of the greatest communicators in American television ever. Okay. I would say that half of the guys and gals you see today on TV owe something to this man. Le deben algo. So without any further ado, sin más, here's today's Say What soundbite for the first time. Remember, I want you to give me your take on what you heard, and hopefully by the end of the show, after you've heard it a few times, you'll be able to give it to me word for word. Here it is.
You try. Not everyone is a pearl. You go through them and you say, will it work? Might work. It doesn't work? Big deal. The rarest expression used on Wall Street is, but wait a minute. That wouldn't be ethical.
Hey, honey, do you know when the next Vaughn Radio Trivia Night is?
Yeah, Daddy. It's on Tuesday, November 4th at 8 p.m. And you're hosting.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You're so forgetful, Daddy. What will you do without me?
You're absolutely right, honey. I am a bit absent-minded. Thanks for your help.
Don't mention it. Just mark your calendar. Tuesday, November 4th at 8 p.m. We'll meet you at the Toast Tap Room.
Okay, so let me make sure I've got it. Tuesday, November 4th at 8 p.m. at the Toast Tap Room, Calle San Vicente Ferrer, 33.
Yeah, you got it, Daddy. Be there or be square, amigos.
Excellent.
That's right, folks. That just reminded me. I've got to start preparing the content for the trivia night. As I said, I've got the outline, esbozo, esqueleto. I've got that part done, but now I've got to fill in the blanks. It's going to be a blast, and it's going to be on November 4th. Again, that's November 4th, 2025, and it's going to be taking place at the Toast Tap Room. And the following month, you've got Richard Vaughn. So we are going to end the year with a bang, como decimos, por la puerta grande, or on a high note. That's another way to say it too. Oh, on a high note. Think about it in the opera, right? It reminds me of another expression. We say, it's not over till the fat lady sings. And that means, esto no se ha acabado todavía. Tranquilo. This is not over yet. All right, amigos. I'll give you also in today's Say What soundbite, the first thing, because it gets cut off a little bit, he says, you try. You try. Okay, just in case, because I you can hear the word try really well, but for some reason it cut off you. So the first words are you try. Uno intenta. Right? All right. So that is the Say What soundbite for the first time. Now we're going to move on to another section where I challenge you. It's called our Pop Quiz. Pop Quiz. Pop Quiz. Pop Quiz. Pop Quiz. Yeah. Let's go. Pop Quiz. Pop Quiz. Pop Quiz. Pop Quiz. Pop Quiz. All right, folks, welcome to our Pop Quiz here on the Show with No Name. And this is where we take a look at one of the many materials available at Vaughn Tienda or vaughntienda.com. Remember, you can stop by the website or you can stop by in person if you're in Madrid, Barcelona, Bilbao, Vigo, Valladolid, Valencia, Santander, or what's the last one? Let's see. I say it every day. Did you say Zaragoza? Hey, you got a good memory. All right, well, today we're going to take a look at vocabulario en inglés que deberías conocer. If we translate that literally, it's vocabulary you should know. I'm going to change it to vocabulary you need to know. You must know. And this material has 4,500 different words that, I mean, you need, remember those, as I just said, mil palabras. Yeah, okay, that's great. Pero eso no cubre ni los phrasal verbs. Think about that. You know, eso no cubre todas las there are less than 1,000 prepositions, but add prepositions, phrasal verbs. Okay, put the essential nouns in there. How can you get by with 1,000 words? Okay, maybe if you're not really doing business in English and you're just using it to travel and just, can we have the bill, please? Okay, sure. It depends on what you need it for. But this has around 5 hours of audio. And again, we believe it's so important because just seeing a word is not enough in English. You need to hear the way it's said. You need to say it aloud yourself, because we already have spoken about this time and time again. Just because you see a word and recognize it doesn't mean you know how to pronounce it. The perfect example, in Spanish, you say virus. Great. Don't say virus in English, because if you say virus, I'm going to think you're saying Beetlejuice or something, right? In English, it's primero no es la B, que en español no distinguís entre la V y la B, suena exactamente igual. But in English, virus. So that's just one example of a word that is pretty universal, but there is no similarity between the way it's pronounced in English and in Spanish. So that's why this is so important. Now, as always, I want you guys to listen carefully, because I will have some questions for you afterwards. Again, this is from Vocabulario en Inglés que deberías conocer. It's available at vontienda.com.
List 13.
Otra vez.
Again.
Playa. Beach. Timbre. Campana.
Bell.
Bote. Barca.
Boat.
Ambos. Los dos.
Both.
Tarta.
Cake.
Empresa.
Company.
Rincón. Esquina.
Corner.
Tarde. Después del oscurecer.
Evening.
Dedo.
Finger.
Muebles.
Furniture.
Abuelos.
Grandparents.
Grecia.
Greece.
Feliz. Contento.
Happy.
Pesado.
Heavy.
Casa. Hogar.
Home.
Último.
Last.
Carta.
Letter.
Almuerzo. Comida.
Lunch.
Ahora.
Now.
Patata.
Potato.
Redondo.
Round.
Varios.
Several.
Zapatos.
Shoes.
Blando. Suave.
Soft.
List 14.
Bolsa.
Bag.
Cuarto de baño.
Bathroom.
Hombre de negocios.
Businessman.
Cena.
Dinner.
Temprano.
Early.
Fábrica.
Factory.
Lejos.
Far.
Pies.
Feet.
Plano. Llano.
Flat.
Comida.
Food.
Libre.
Free.
Hospital.
Hospital.
Más tarde.
Later.
Noche.
Night.
Cartero.
Postman.
Resultado.
Result.
Ahora mismo.
Right now.
Sueldo.
Salary.
Extraño.
Strange.
La policía.
The police.
Tiempo.
Time.
Hoy.
Today.
Mañana.
Tomorrow.
Invierno.
Winter.
Equivocado.
Wrong. List 15.
Por encima de. sobre,
above,
acción,
Action.
también,
also,
porque,
Because.
frontera,
border,
puente,
Bridge.
roto,
broken,
cada,
Each.
economía,
economy,
todos los días,
Every day.
excepto,
except,
por ejemplo,
For example.
jardín,
garden,
grupo,
Group.
inmediatamente,
immediately,
método,
Method.
parte,
part,
lugar, sitio,
Place.
camisa,
shirt,
algunos, algo de,
Some.
verano,
summer,
la parte superior,
The top.
fumar,
to smoke,
urgente,
Urgent.
útil,
useful,
List 16.
edad,
age,
lo antes posible,
As soon as possible.
ayudante,
assistant,
espalda,
Back.
tranquilo,
calm,
común, corriente,
Common.
esfuerzo,
effort,
evaluación,
Evaluation.
afortunadamente,
fortunately,
generoso,
Generous.
por la tarde,
in the evening,
dentro, dentro de,
Inside.
interesante,
interesting,
punto de vista,
Point of view.
tamaño, talla,
size,
allí, ahí,
There.
estos,
these,
cosa,
Thing.
Esos. Aquellos.
those,
venir,
To come.
beber,
to drink,
tener,
To have.
aprender,
to learn,
apreciar, gustarle a uno,
To like.
mirar,
to look at,
All right, there we go. Lots of false friends in there. Appreciate es estar agradecido. Agradecer, it's not apreciar. And we heard a lot of other false friends in there as well. Now, here's my question. Were you familiar with most of those? I mean, I know you know today, tomorrow, food. I mean, especially you guys, that you've got a pretty impressive level of English. But again, this is vocabulary you need to know. You must know. All right, let's see what I want from you here. Now, they said something about la esquina. Okay, it can be esquina or rincón in Spanish. If I'm not mistaken, rincón is well, I'm not sure in Spanish. In English, if we say it's outside versus inside, well, there's a different preposition. So I want you to tell me quedamos en la esquina, pero no en la esquina de la habitación, sino en la esquina, en la calle, okay? En el exterior. I want to know if you know the correct preposition. I know you know the word esquina, but my question now is, do you know how to use it in context? And also, rincón in English can be a nook, como, oh, that's a little nook in the house, una esquinita rincón, which is a little bit different, the context there. But I'm talking about quedamos en la esquina, and I'm not talking about inside. I'm talking about outside. All right, you can say quedamos en la esquina, le vi en la esquina, however you want, but the idea is we're talking about outdoors instead of indoors. The next one, they said the word pesado. And I know a lot of you guys know the word pesado. I know you know it because I've heard it many times. I don't know why people are always calling me pesado. I'm joking. Well, not really. So it's not heavy. Well, yes, it is heavy if we're talking about something that we can't pick up. But I want the other meaning of pesado. Okay, it's a pretty frequently used word in Spanish. So you can give me, there are many ways to say it. use it in context. Puedes usar a alguien que sale en la tele que dices, qué pesado. You can even tell me I'm pesado. I'm used to it. It's no problem whatsoever. All right. So that's that secondary meaning of pesado, which is not heavy. Okay. Now, also, it reminds me of Back to the Future yesterday. We heard a clip. Heavy is also, wow, Doc, that's heavy. Que fuerte. But that's also a little bit antiquated. Now, the last one, I think it's an easy one. We'll see. Although I do hear mistakes with this from time to time. Tell me, dime lo que cenaste. En frase completa. Dime lo que cenaste, pero claro, en inglés. All right, amigos, that is your pop quiz. We'll take a look at those answers. We'll also take a look at the Say What soundbite. For the second time, we've got our news report and so much more. So stick around. That's right, amigos. You got it. It is part 2 of the show with no name. I see we've got lots of students participating here. Also, a big shout out to all our amigos who tune into the podcast every day. That's the majority of you. Well, I know. You know what the worst time slot is for a radio show? You guessed it. 10:30 or 10. Why? Because everybody starts their workday. So regardless, independientemente, this show has remained popular, and I thank you for that. I mean, you don't use it as an excuse. Worst time slot ever. Well, fine. That's never stopped me. And I think also when I started doing the show, that was Richard Vaughn's idea. He said, Alberto, at 10 o'clock, there's a huge drop in audience. Again, not here, everywhere. Doesn't matter. Even on TV, radio, there's a huge drop because people are doing other things. You're getting on with your day. You know, it's not the morning commute or the evening commute, which people they're dying to listen to something, to hear, to tune into something, So, that's that. Thank you. Again, that's thanks to you guys for tuning in, for downloading it, for commenting, for reviewing. And if you haven't done that, that's another way you can make sure. I mean, a lot of you say, Alberto, I wish I could say thank you. I wish I could, return the favor. Real simple. Go over to your favorite podcast platform, give the show 5 stars, and leave a little comment. I'll read it. I don't read all the comments, but at one time I did. And I know people who don't read any comments, good or bad. Because, well, one thing about doing your job in the public sphere is you can't take anything personal. I hate you. Great. I love you. Great, too. I do what I do. But hey, it can, if you don't know that, that's why when young people get famous or get a lot of attention, and then they open up Twitter, it's like, you're an idiot. I hate this guy. He's untalented. It could really hurt your self-esteem. But also, if don't take the good or the bad personal. It's, some people have that energy where they connect with you and they get you, and others don't. I mean, just think about on TV. Some presenters on TV, Pablo Motos or Buenafuente or whoever's on TV, you're like, I don't know why I love this guy. I connect with him. And other guys or gals, you're like, oh, man, I can't even stand the way this person talks. But again, if you were to take that personal, well, then that would be the furthest thing from realistic. Is everybody supposed to like you? No, that would be weird, right? Is everybody supposed to hate you or despise? No, that's weird too. So somewhere in the middle is where we all are. That's why you take nothing personal. That's something it took me many years. I'm saying it right now very easily, but it's something, it took me many years of, not just because before I started working at Vaughn, I was working in the public sphere. My job was seen by thousands of people. I did plays every weekend, obras de teatro for hundreds of people. I've even performed in front of thousands of people. And the one thing that I would worry, did people like it? If they didn't like it, maybe there's a problem. And then I learned, you just do what you do. Do what you do. And the ones who love it will love it. And the ones who don't. And the ones who are indifferent, well, same thing. Don't take it personal. And I think we can apply that to anything in life. All right. Well, folks, I'm going to give you the Say What soundbite now for the second time, and we'll see what you guys heard. Remember, tell me in your best English what you heard. Sum it up, resúmelo, and then we'll discuss it along with your pop quiz answers as well. Here we go.
You try. Not everyone is a pearl. You go through them and you say, will it work? Might work. If it doesn't work, big deal. The rarest expression used on Wall Street is, but wait a minute. That wouldn't be ethical.
Hey, Damian, what's crack-a-lackin', buddy?
Hey, Alberto, I was planning to do some sports this week. What about playing baseball?
Ooh, baseball. I love it. But I'm not sure yet. Can we touch base next week?
Touch base. Estamos en contacto, ¿no? Hablamos en algún momento. Yeah, okay. Let's touch base. Okay, what about basketball? Do you want to play basketball?
Oh, man, I love basketball. It's one of my favorite sports. But I don't know if I can this weekend because I've already got plans. Oh, man, that's the way the ball bounces.
That's the way the ball bounces. Así están las cosas, ¿no? Así bota la pelota. Así bota la pelota. That's the way the ball bounces. I love that expression. Okay, what about tennis? Do you want to play tennis?
Well, I love tennis, but I'm not really a good player. If you don't mind playing with a novice, the ball's in your court, buddy.
La bola está en mi campo, ¿eh? La pelota está en mi tejado. All right. Do you want to play some soccer?
Sure, I'd love to play some soccer or football, as you call it. What time do we kick off?
Perfect. We're kicking off at 9. Are you available?
Sure, but I might have to play some golf before with some friends. It's par for the course.
It's par for the course. Es lo normal, ¿no? Es lo normalito, lo que se hace.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what about billiards? Do you like playing billiards?
Yeah, but right now I'm behind the 8 ball.
I'm behind the 8 ball. Estás detrás de la bola 8, como que llevas las de perder.
Yeah. Wow, a lot of idiomatic expressions here.
Muy buenas expresiones. Si es que así de gusto aprender inglés con un profe como Alberto y un poquito de creatividad, tienes This Book is the Shit. El mejor libro para aprender inglés que te has echado a la cara in your life. Píllatelo, vas a disfrutar mogollón de dibujos para que lo aprendas todo fácil, con conexiones lógicas y divertidas. Es la manera más sencilla y más divertida de aprender inglés. No te la pierdas.
Damian, you're such a good sport. Te enrollas. You can pick up your copy of This Book is the Shit at
Vaughantienda.com.
It's the shit. That's right, folks. This book is the shit, available at Vaughn Tienda and wherever fine books are sold. Remember, I've got a total of 5 books and maybe some more to come. Well, we'll see. We'll see. The idea, it's not for a lack of ideas. It's, well, I won't get into details right now. But it takes a long time to write a book, so you've got to make sure you've got the right people behind it selling that book. And if you don't, well, it's not worth it. All right. So in a nutshell, en resumidas cuentas. But we shall see. For now, you've got 5 books that I have penned To pen is another way of saying to write. And today we're not looking at one of my books. No way, Jose. We're looking at Vocabulario en Inglés que deberías conocer, available also at Von Tienda with over 4,500 words. And you can get it for under $10. And you've got hours, almost 5 hours of audio to make sure you are pronouncing the words correctly. And there's another word, audio or audio. Ahí lo tienes. There's one where, si lo ves, dices, audio. Not in English. It's not audio. Audio sounds like something, sounds like a rodeo or something. It's audio, like awesome. So again, just because we recognize a word doesn't mean we pronounce it correctly. All right, let's see who's with us in the house. We've got Born to Iron Man checking in. He says, hi there, friends. Hello, Born to Iron Man. Great to have you on board. We've also got Chris Valrol checking in, and she is participating in the Say What soundbite. She says, I heard an American man correct. It sounds like a broadcast of a tennis match. Okay. It's a TV broadcast. Let's put it that way. It's not a sporting event, but it is a TV broadcast. And then she says, he says, not everyone is a pearl doing what they do. A pearl is una joya, una gema. You say the same thing. And he mentions an expression that is used in Wall Street, Arctic. No, he doesn't say Arctic. I can tell you what he says there at the end. He says Arctic? No. Ethical? Is that the one? Ethical? So it's not Arctic, though. And she says, I'm not sure if he speaks tongue-in-cheek, con un poco de ironía. Well, I'll give you a clue. This guy always, he mastered the tongue-in-cheek delivery. Okay, delivery es como dices una frase. So, good, excellent. Chris Valrol. Also, I forgot. I wanted to go over a few more things from our pop quiz. A couple things that I thought were worth mentioning here. The word blando is, in English, soft. Okay, so what does bland mean in English? Bland means boring, tasteless. You say so-so. And you know what so-so means in English? It was so-so. Así, nada especial. So it's funny. You can go round and round with those false friends there. Another one. We heard the word fabric or fabrica, which would be a factory or a plant. We looked at that the other day. Then how do we say tela in English? Fabric, which I know if you see, you're like, oh, he works in a fabric. So he works in a fabric factory. Trabaja en una fábrica de tela. We heard the word result. That's an interesting word because the S is not an S. It's a Z sound. Result. You can also say outcome, I believe. Resultado, desenlace, outcome. Tiene sentido. Es lo que sale fuera después. It comes out. It's the outcome. I know you know the word salary. Another way to say that, wage. He earns a good wage, a good salary. One of the prepositions we heard, dime encima de. Did you say above or above? Above. He earns above average. And there's another one. We heard the word bridge. Well, if you know that A-G-E, que también oímos age, edad, cuando va solo es age. Pero cuando es terminación, muchas veces, en muchas palabras, ese age es age. Y como siempre digo, si sabes pronunciar bridge, sabes esa. Mira, idioma. How do you say idioma? Language, age. No language, language. Pueblo? Come on, let's practice this sound. Village, no village. You know how many times I've heard village? Okay, so it's village. Promedio, Average. Nos comemos la E del medio porque, bueno, no es tan importante. Average. Okay, paquete. Package. Mensaje. These are common words you need to know how to pronounce. Message. Ige. ¿Qué tienen en común todos? Message. Salchichas. I'm getting hungry now. Sausage. Sausage. Maletas. Baggage or luggage. Right? And I'm sure you can come up with many of your own there. Right? Now, it's interesting porque garaje no es garage. Well, actually, sí, para los británicos sí que es garage. He's going to the garage. The garage. I think they say it like that. We say garage. So that's why I said it isn't always age, but many, many times that aje as a suffix is ige, right? Okay, good. What else do I wanted to point out a couple other things there. Useful. If something is useful, what's another way to say me resulta útil? It comes in handy, right? A glass of water when you're thirsty really comes in handy. Another one I wanted to highlight, fortunately. I've heard a lot of people say afortunately or afortunately. Primero no tiene adelante. Empieza con F. So it's fortunately or unfortunately sería el antónimo, the antonym. You can also say luckily. Luckily, we were paying attention and we caught it. Fortunately, luckily. And we heard those basic words, this and these, right? Now, I know what you're thinking. God, Berto, come on, this is easy stuff. Okay, then never put this people again. Or never say these, porque luego muchos dicen these, and these no es ni una ni el otro, right? This is, no, this is interesting. This is, these are, these. Let's rhyme some words with them. This, kiss, dilo conmigo. The best way to practice these sounds is by saying them aloud. This kiss is criminal. Isn't that a song? This kiss is criminal. So kiss, this, miss, piss, right? Hiss, what a snake does, or a cat, they hiss. And these rhymes with peas, guisantes, okay? Also rhymes with he's a great guy. He's better than these guys. Okay, so again, basic stuff, but that's why I don't want to hear people saying them incorrectly or saying a hybrid. Really, what the big problem is, people use a hybrid of the two. And they say, this is. And I'm like, this es ni uno ni el otro. Estás como poniendo el sonido vocal de la segunda, pero con la terminación de la primera. And again, this is page 1 in the Vaughan Student Manual. So you can't go to the next chapter unless you've got that under control. All right? So those are a few things that I wanted to highlight, things I thought were worth mentioning. All right, let's see. There's German. German says, morning, guys. What's up, German? He says, hey, AA, I think I heard you say Duolingo's got a lot of flack. Does flack mean criticism? Absolutely. Absolutely. You could tell from the context, right? Also, flack, and I guess it makes sense, is fuego antiaéreo. Yeah. Hey, that could be a good double trouble there. So yes, flack. And you can spell it, at least the críticas one, F-L-A-K, or the way I spell it, F-L-A-C-K. Does it ring a bell? Killing my pain with his finger. This is Roberta Flack. And I don't think she got too much flack, crítica, for that. So good, German. And if you weren't able to figure it out, if we weren't live right now, you could always go to, I was going to say word reference, just Google flack meaning English, and Google will give you the answer. So yes, but you got it from the context. Great, German. Then German says, by the by, I find making inroads, to experiment with something. Make inroads. Let's see cómo lo ponen aquí. Inroads. Inroads. Pues no me pone. Los efectos. The inroads. Los efectos. To make inroads. Recurrir a. Okay, that's it. Recurrir a. Okay, so I find making inroads, which, by the way, totally native there, making inroads into AI nauseating by now, especially what most people are doing with it. Yeah, I say that for everything now, and not just AI, the internet in general. I remember when it was a fun place. I remember when social media had the social aspect and it wasn't BBVA ads. You get what I'm saying? So I'm over it. I'm over it means paso de ello. Ya no me interesa. So yeah, you know my thoughts. Have a real conversation. Go out to lunch with a friend. You know, go to the movies. Even if it's the movies, at least you're doing something. You're not sitting there in front of your phone. You know, which is, again, I think all of us could use a little break, un poco de descanso. And especially, again, looking at what social media has become these days, right? Not what it was. I remember back in the day, it was fun. I would actually see my friends posting. I wouldn't see 3 ads, then one friend, another 3 ads, then another friend. And I'm like, wait, I have to eat 7 ads. I got to swallow. We say the same thing. Tragar 7 ads just so I can see what 2 friends are doing? No, thanks. And then I realized too, my friends aren't even posting. I don't know about your friends, but my friends, the people I really, because that was the original excuse was, oh, I keep in touch with people. Well, you don't need social media for that. Give them a call, you know, send them a voice note. I mean, you could say what's up is social media, but not really. That's really more private conversations. So, yeah, I think I'm not alone. My thoughts there are echoed by many, many people. All right, let's see. We've got Born to Iron Man participating in our pop quiz, and he says, let's meet at the corner. Very good. You can also say on the corner. You can't say in the corner. O sea, es a lo que iba ahí. So you can say, let's meet on the corner of 5th and 6th Avenue or 34th and 6th, right? Como vimos el otro día en Nueva York, hablamos así. So you can say at or on outside. And inside we say in the corner. Okay, so es la diferencia. Okay, so why are you standing in the corner? I told you we were going to meet on the corner or at the corner. And you know it from a song. Down on the corner. Out in the street, Billy and the poor boys singing, bring a nickel, stamp your feet. Oh, man, great tune. You're always, I think you're doing that on purpose, Born to Iron Man. You're always egging me on, incitándome a cantar. All right, and then he said, what boring politicians are. Te ayudo aquí. How boring, right? En este caso no es que, it's how. How boring politicians are. But boring no es tanto pesado, right? If I'm not mistaken, pesado es que no te dejan en paz. Boring es que te aburren, right? So it's not really a synonym for it, but I agree. They're boring and pesados. And I don't care what side you're on. They're all corrupt and none of them have your or my best interests in mind. And if you believe that they do, you need to read more books. Get off social media and read more books. All right. So yes, they are boring, but that's not really a synonym for annoying or irritating or a pain in the neck, right? All right, let's see. The last one. I had some fried green little peppers. Es que el orden de los adjetivos es importante. I had some fried green little peppers with manchego cheese in a half loaf, so not into, sino in or on, a half loaf, not load. Load es una carga. Loaf es una hogaza. So on a half loaf of bread with extra virgin oil. I imagine it's extra virgin olive oil. And great, just be careful, a couple little adjustments there. For dinner. Ahí nos pone for dinner. Y a eso iba también. Muchos dicen, I had for dinner eggs. No, en inglés siempre I had eggs for dinner. Que that's based on a true story. I had fried eggs for dinner last night. Okay, so siempre lo que comemos va, aunque sea breakfast, lunch, I had lo que sea for breakfast, I had lo que sea for dinner, I had lo que sea for lunch. All right, good job, Born to Iron Man. Just a couple little tweaks. Okay, there's Chris Valrol. She says, we meet at the corner of the restaurant. Okay? The only thing, Chris, is you're saying solemos quedar ahí, okay? Right? Y creo que quieres decir, let's meet, mejor, quedamos ahí. Because la estructura sería un poco rara. So we meet, we usually meet, pero no creo que quieres decir eso. So let's meet at the corner of the restaurant. Okay? Excellent job. Little adjustment there. Porque presente simple es eso. Solemos, ¿no? Es algo habitual. Okay? Pero como has dicho, okay, I think it's a suggestion. In that case, shall we or let's meet. Okay, the next one. The news is a real pain. Excellent. I think a pain would be like un coñazo. A pain in the ass, a pain in the neck. It is irritating. It's annoying. El que más uso yo es annoying. Man, it is annoying. All right. And let's see. She said, I had half a delicious potato omelet made by Alberto with a small piece of buckwheat bread and some pomegranate for dessert. Sounds yummy. And buckwheat bread. A ver cómo lo traducen aquí. Buckwheat bread. Where is word reference? No lo veo. ¿Se ha quitado de aquí o qué pasa? Word reference? Really? It's not on my... Maybe I took it off my favorites. Buckwheat bread in Spanish is... de trigo sarraceno. I didn't know that one. Interesting. Sounds healthy. Sounds healthy. Yeah. Especially your dessert, pomegranate. All right. Chris also says, I made a mistake. I quickly forget words. I meant article or article. So ethical. Yeah. The word you're looking for, I think, if you're talking about the last word in the Say What soundbite, then that is ethical. Folks, we have got to go to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with much more. So stick around. Yeah, welcome back. Welcome back. This is the second half of today's show with no name here on Vaughn Radio. Don't forget to tune in to all the amazing programs we have here for free. That's an awesome word. Not very much is free. Okay, you got to listen to our ads, but I think it's a small price to pay to learn the language, you know? I know some people that charge 40 or 50 bucks an hour for English classes. So it is a small price to pay. Also, when people ask you, oh my God, how did your English get so good? That's when you say, have you heard of On Radio? And you grab their phone and you download the app. Oh yeah. Don't forget, right after our show today, you can learn English with Ale on Speaking with Confidence. You've also got English with Ruby, the lunchtime show with Rob Grams. Let's Get Random with Jules Linares. Oh yeah. Dave Boyce and the Salad. Kyle Miller's Drive Time. Chris Frank and Frankly Speaking. I'm about to rap them. Estoy a punto de rapear los demás. Richard Vaughn Live. The Pro Bo Show with Rob Grams. Well, it's like new metal more than rap. Well, new metal is a mix of rap and heavy metal. So many amazing programs. Oh, and I forgot Fitz and No Excuses and Jessica Fernandez and The Hour to Empower. You can listen to all these programs wherever you get your podcasts. Also, remember, we've got a new exclusive podcast with iVox or Evox, however you want to call them. And that is called, a ver si me acuerdo, Vaughan Inglés 4.0. All right, folks, let's rock and roll with our first section of the second half of the show. It's Homophones on the Show with No Name.
Homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, it's homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Come on. The show with no name.
That's right, amigos. You know it. It is today's homophone section where we look at words with nuances, matices, that are oftentimes, I should say, incorrectly pronounced. But don't worry, we're here to demystify these words. All right, the first word, it depends on what side of the pond you're on. If Rob Grams says the word, he is talking about a vagina. You say vagina? Okay, there's another word que si lo ves, se pronuncia diferente. In Argentina, they call it a shell, la concha. Hey, you need to know this stuff. Okay. So, yes, the female genitals in British English. Now, in American English, it's culo o nalgas. So, in both cases, it's a private part. But depending on which side of the pond you're on, you're talking about somebody's concha or vagina, to use the scientific term, or you're talking about trasero o culo. Now, it's not an offensive word in American English. In fact, I remember our librarian when I was in kindergarten in first grade, and she used to tell us to put our traseros, using this word, in the chairs. Sit down, guys, okay? Planta este trasero ahí. So, again, in British English, I imagine I don't know. Yeah, it says vulgar. In American English, it's not really vulgar, okay? Ass, I think, is the most vulgar way to say that word, okay? Ass. All right, are you familiar with that word? I know you're familiar with the second word. The second word is gracioso, cómico, okay? Also, it means raro también, especially when the British say, I'm not being, but is there something wrong, mate? Okay, raro. So it can mean in American English too. This tastes raro. Okay. So are you familiar with these two words? The first one, again, depending on where you are in American English, it's culete. And in British English, it's concha in the Argentinian sense of the word. And the second word is sospechoso, raro, y gracioso, which I know you already know that word and the meaning. So I guess we need to look at the pronunciation. Let me know if you know the words and if they sound exactly the same or not. Also, let me give you today's Say What soundbite for the third time. Good luck.
You try. Not everyone is a pearl. You go through them and you say, well, it worked, might work. It doesn't work, big deal. The rarest expression used on Wall Street is, but wait a minute. That wouldn't be ethical.
Listen carefully. Can you hear that? No. Listen closer. I'm not talking about the birds chirping. I'm talking about everybody speaking English and feeling comfortable. Listen. This is what it's like at Vaughntown, a peaceful place where you can really learn English and lose your inhibitions. There's a reason it's one of our star programs. Vaughntown, lose your fear of speaking English. If you want more information about this immersive experience, go to grupovaughn.com or give us a call, 911-385831. Lose your fear of speaking English and express yourself with clarity at Vaughntown. Sorry. Hey, but that's how memorization works. You hear it enough, and not only do you know the words, but you know the intonation. How do you know your favorite songs? I mean, I know my favorite songs. I know every little nuance in there, you know, how long the pause is before the guitar comes in. What we're trying to do with language. Don't ever try and take the musical aspect out of language, because then you're taking the fun out of it. And speaking of fun, we're going to take a look at these words now. Now, first things first, that second word, funny, is not the same as fun. Remember, fun is yee-hoo, woo-hoo-hoo, and funny is ha 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 ha. Now, something can be fun and funny. But the perfect example is when I used to ask students a lot in class on a Monday morning, how was your weekend? And they said, oh, it was funny. I'm like, okay, so what happened? Now, if you say it was fun, well, I'll ask you, what did you do? But if you say it was funny, I'll be like, oh, I guess some kind of anecdote, some kind of little story the person's going to tell me. So funny, I always say, el que tiene la al final es la que te hace reír. Now, something that's fun can make you laugh, but there is a difference between being fun and funny, okay? So there's the second word, funny. Funny rhymes with honey, rhymes with money. Reminds me of the Smashing Pumpkins. Who wants honey as long as there's some money? That's a great tune, by the way. So funny, honey, funny. Dilos, vamos a decirlos. It's not funny, honey. We don't have money. Okay? And the first word, fanny. So the word, vamos a decir, la palabra fanny es divertida, es graciosa. O es rara. Remember, we said, this tastes funny, significa que sabe raro. ¿No? Again, you'll know from the context, algo no puede saber gracioso. It's impossible, right? You're like, oh, it makes me laugh, right? Unless you're eating a clown, of course. And there is a joke, I don't remember it, but what did the clown say? What did the guy say who ate, the cannibal say who ate the clown? This tastes funny. Something like that. So the word fanny is funny. It's a funny word. Eso puede ser también raro porque tiene ese doble sentido. The word fanny is funny. The word fanny is funny. And ladies and gentlemen, we've got 3 students who have figured it out and they got it right. Born to Iron Man. Chris Valrol, and German. German. I call you German. I know it's German. Just reminds me of my friend Jermaine. That's probably why. So, and my friend Jermaine, who's no longer with us. God rest his soul. And I hope we've all, I guess, lost grandparents, great grandparents. But when you lose a friend that's your age, that is just, oh man, it just destroys you. I was pretty screwed up for about a year where I was in shock for a year. And even now, when I think about it. So fanny versus funny. Okay. Now, again, the word fanny, if you say it in American English, it's not an offensive word, right? Like the word butt, bottom, behind. That's your behind, your culete. La parte de atrás makes sense. And in fact, we call una riñonera, you call them, which I don't care what people think about me. I love these things. I think they're really convenient. We were talking about it the other day when we talked about travel hacks. People might look at you funny. Mira, mirarte con cara rara. Ahí tienes ese uso de funny. People might look at you funny when you wear a fanny pack, but I don't give a damn. So there you go, folks. Excellent job. Excellent job. All right, we've got to move on, though. It's time for today's news report.
This is the news report on the show with no name, bringing you the latest breaking news. I'm Alberto Alonso, reporting live.
Hey, guys, quit monkeying around. Quit monkeying around. Come on, deja to monkey around. Hacer el loco. All right, well, this story I call monkey business. And what is monkey business? Well, monkey business, vamos a ver cómo lo traducen aquí. Monkey business, tonterías, payasadas. Okay, so monkey business. Well, in South Carolina, there was a report of a spider monkey. So spider monkey is the type of monkey it is that was spotted. Spotted means seen. It was spotted. También puede ser con pecas, con lunares, right? But in this case, it means it was spotted. It was seen running loose through the town. Now, I know what you're thinking. Monkeys running through a town? Was there a zoo nearby? Well, not really. In fact, a lot of people, when it was reported to authorities, they didn't believe it. They said, how are there going to be monkeys running around town, in this little small rural town in South Carolina? And, well, sure enough, since there are cameras almost everywhere, Big Brother's watching, folks. Well, they were able to back it up. To back it up is to prove it, right? When they saw people posting on social media from their door cams, they posted this monkey running around the streets. So what happened was the mayor of the town, this is not monkey business now, if the mayor's involved. Well, he went over there with his wife, Laura, and they went over to where they saw the monkey, to where the monkey was spotted. También podemos decir where there was a monkey sighting. ¿Cómo traducirías sighting? Sighting. Observación. Okay, donde se observó. There was a monkey sighting. Okay, and sure enough es, pues sí que era verdad. There was a monkey hanging on the back of a vehicle by the barber shop. The barber shop, el barbero. And the primate, who was dragging her own leash, it was a female monkey. Ay, que mona. Okay, bad joke. Que mona. Now, mono, que mono is how cute. We don't say how monkey, right? How cute. So the primate was seen dragging her own leash. The leash is what you use to walk a dog. You've got the collar and the leash. And so what did that tell you? If there was no zoo, well, that meant it was somebody's pet. Now, I don't know about that. That doesn't sound too ethical. Speaking of the word we heard in today's Say What soundbite. So the monkey was headed to the bank. I guess the monkey wanted to withdraw some money. Or maybe hold up the bank. To hold up is robar el banco. And the monkey was hollering. Hollering is another way of saying screaming. You could tell, se notaba, that the monkey was scared. So they decided, well, we've got to lure the monkey, atraer, right? We've got to lure the monkey in. What are we going to do? And what happened was the mayor decided to take the hot cup of coffee he was drinking, put it on the ground, remove the lid, and take a step back. Well, guess what? I guess monkeys like coffee because it worked. The monkey got curious and instead of running away, turned back. Or as we say, did a 180. Hizo un 180 grados. I mean, it's that media vuelta. And the monkey came back to investigate, to sniff out the steaming beverage. Steaming, que echaba vapor. And at that point, they were able to step on the leash, pisar la correa, I think you say, so that they could get this monkey and obviously return the monkey to safety, because it's not safe for a monkey to be running around the streets. You know, cars, crazy kids. It's better to have it in a zoo or in some kind of controlled environment, you know. And, well, finally, a woman came forward. To come forward es presentarse. She came forward. Creo que es presentarse. A ver, como to come forward. Salir. Come forward. Aquí está. To come forward. Presentarse. Yeah, ofrecerse. To come forward. So a woman came forward and claimed that the monkey was her pet and that the monkey indeed was lost and had a name. So the monkey's name was Ava. Ava. Now, of course, everybody was baffled, perplejos, because spider monkeys are native to Central and South America, not to North Carolina. And they are currently legal. So the woman wasn't doing anything illegal because it's currently not a crime to own a monkey in South Carolina, as long as you have a permit. Un permiso, una licencia. But I don't know about that. How do you guys feel about that? Keeping a monkey as a pet. I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Well, the good news, the monkey wasn't harmed. There was no monkey business. And the monkey is back in its home. Ava, I should call her, is back at home and safe and sound. Sana y salva. All right, folks, there's your news report. We've got to move on, though, because it's time for our spelling bee.
Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee.
All right, amigos. All right, it's time for our spelling bee. A couple comments over here. Chris says, I recommend listening to Vaughn Radio to many people. Most of them ignore it. I get it. You know why? Most people, and I hate to say this because I'm speaking about our society, most people prefer mindless entertainment. Mindless, piénsalo, sin mente. Aquí pone mecánico, tonto, corto, sin motivo, sin sentido. They'd rather see, you know, people, you know, smashing watermelons. I don't know. I don't get it because I know myself. Even when I'm at the gym, I'm like, I want to learn about neuroscience. I want to learn about engineering. Like, I don't know. I prefer to keep my mind active. But that, guys, I got to say, we are a dime a dozen. A dime a dozen. No somos lo normal. Okay. A dime a dozen. No, the opposite. A dime a dozen. A dime a dozen means a montones. So, en británico se dice 10 a penny. So those people who love mindless entertainment are a dime a dozen. Very common. In fact, I think the majority of people don't want to be challenged. I don't get, again, I can't put myself in their shoes, but I get it. A lot of people want to turn off their brains instead of stimulate their brains. I don't get it. And she says, I can't imagine my life without Vaughn Radio now. And the reason I say that is all you have to do is look at what's popular and it'll tell you everything about society, right? You know, most of the popular programs are mindless. Just, you know, if they weren't there, you wouldn't gain or lose anything. You know, so thank you, though. Thank you so much, Chris, for spreading the word. German says, I see eye to eye with Chris. I had good teachers in the past, but none of them were as good as Alberto, Fitz, Ruby, and Richard Vaughn, my favorites. Chris says, indeed, German, Vaughn radio teachers are all A1. Born to Iron Man says, I second the motion. Well, thank you, everybody. And yeah, that's why I always tell you guys, I say that, I applaud you. I say, you know, most people I know are not challenging themselves. They're living in their comfort zone. And that's great. But okay, have fun. Have fun there. Nothing really comes from that area. So you guys are in a class above. As we say, remember, we've looked at this one before. You are head and shoulders above the average. All right, folks, this is our spelling bee. This is round one. As always, round one. Oh, man, this is hellish. I fly through round one. All right, here we go. Round one of today's spelling bee. Is everybody ready? Rev your engines. All right, the first one is Gary space Gabellich. The second one is Blue space Flame. The third one is Rocket dash Powered space Automobile. The fourth one is Natural space Gas. The fifth one, Land space Speed space Record. And the last one is Bonneville space SALT space FLATS. Whoa. Let me just take a quick breath here. And we've got to start round two in just a few seconds, or else we're going to run out of time. Nos vamos a quedar sin tiempo. But don't worry, we still have one more part of the show left. And but I want to get the second round of the spelling bee into this part of the show. So going once, going twice. All right, folks, here is round two. The first one is Gary space Gabellich. The second one is Blue space Flame. The third one is Rocket dash Powered space Automobile. The fourth one, Natural space Gas. The fifth one is Land space Speed space Record. And the last one is BONNE. VILLE space SALT space FLATS. Folks, we'll be right back with the rest of the show, so stick around. Welcome back, folks. Welcome back. This is the fourth and final part of today's show with no name. Just a quick reminder, you've got a 60% discount. I mean, that is a serious discount. 60% off on our Curso de Inglés online. You can get it for under $40. Also, you can get the Curso de Inglés online advanced for $140. Originally $350. But you've got to take advantage of these special offers before Halloween 2025. So from the 17th of October to the 31st of October 2025. Siempre digo el año, por si acaso. 60% off. So you're paying less than half of what it would normally cost. If you're interested, you can follow Grupo Von on social media or just go to our website, grupovon.com. It's awesome. I mean, if you ever needed a little push, a little incentive, there it is. What a steal. No es un robo. A steal es un chollo. Careful. Yeah, that's a confusing one. It's a steal. A deal. A bargain. Tres formas de decir un chollazo. All right, amigos, let's kick things off with today's double trouble. Come on.
Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double trouble. I said double trouble. Double trouble. I said double trouble.
All right, folks, it is double trouble. And today it's really a double trouble. It's not a triple trouble. So I think it should be easy today. I think today's is, it's a giveaway. Es regalado. All right, so here we go. El presentador de ese programa de debate o entrevistas, okay? So you would call it programa de debate / entrevistas. El presentador de ese programa de debate / entrevistas habla demasiado. There you go. You've got to use the same word twice in our double trouble. El presentador de ese programa de debate / entrevistas habla demasiado. We'll see if somebody can figure it out. In the meantime, I'm going to give you the Say What soundbite for the fourth and final time. Good luck.
You try. Not everyone is a pearl. You go through them and you say, well, it worked, might work. It doesn't work, big deal. The rarest expression used on Wall Street is, but wait a minute. That wouldn't be ethical.
Alberto, estoy leyendo un cómic y me estoy dando cuenta de que todas las onomatopeyas que salen son verbos en inglés.
Of course, man. We love making it easy.
Por ejemplo, aquí pone chomp y está un animal masticando.
Sure, to chomp.
Es mascar, ¿no?
Sí, mascar. Y lo haces con tus piños. You're chompers.
Ah, chompers es los piños grandotes, ¿no? Vale, y to click, por ejemplo.
To click. Well, to click is what you do on a computer. You click. Pinchar.
Perfecto, pinchas con el ratón. Claro, tiene sentido. To gulp.
Well, before I was gulping my soda. Gulp, 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 gulp.
Claro, estás tragando como un pato.
Eso es, no es lo mismo que sip.
Bien. To thump.
Thump. Don't thump your fist on the table. No des un pum, pum en la mesa.
De hecho, el conejito de Bambi se llamaba Thumper.
Eso es, todo tiene sentido en inglés.
Claro que sí, por eso hemos hecho el tercer libro de This Book is the Milk, que se llama This Book is the Shit. Este libro es la leche. Por Alberto Alonso
y Damián Moya.
Así da gusto aprender. Y lo sabes.
And you know it. That's right, folks. This book is the shit, available at vaughntienda.com, where you can find a plethora of other amazing materials as well as my 5 books. If you'd like, you can stop by the website or you can stop by in person. The good thing about stopping by in person is, well, you can talk to us. We'll give you a free consultation. Somebody will sit down with you and say, okay, so what's your goal? Where are you right now? And you can even get a free level test. So if I were you, I would take advantage of that and find out where you stand. All right, let's take a look. We've got Born to Iron Man participating in our Double Trouble, and let's see if he got it. He says, the host of that talk show talks too much. Absolutely. Great job. The host of that talk show talks too much. German as well. The host of that talk show talks way too much. Excellent job. Now, a talk show, that would be, well, you can call it a late night show, but it's usually their late night, right? So the classic one, Johnny Carson. Johnny Carson. Here's Johnny. And you'll see that reference in The Shining. El Resplandor, when he breaks the door with the axe and he goes, here's Johnny. Well, that's literally how they used to introduce Johnny Carson. And you wouldn't have David Letterman, you wouldn't have Jay Leno, you wouldn't have Kimmel and what's the other one? Fallon and all these guys, my personal favorite, Conan O'Brien, without Johnny Carson. And he was the king of talk shows, of late night talk shows. So excellent job. The host of that talk show talks way too much. Y acordaos la L muda, right? No talk, talks way too much. Excellent job, fellas. All right, let's take a look at our spelling bee. Born to Iron Man is the first one to participate, and the first one is correct. The second one is correct. The third one has a double dash, but don't worry, no big deal. But there's a mistake there. You made up a word there. Te has inventado una palabra ahí. All right, let's see. Chris Valrol taking a stab at it. Chris, the first one is correct. The second one's correct. The third, fourth, fifth, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Chris Valrol. Kicking ass in today's spelling bee. Now, what was today's spelling bee about? Because as you know, I usually link it to some event that happened in history on this day. And this just gives us an opportunity to talk about all different things. Well, today, in the year 1970, in the year 1970, a guy named Gary Gabelich, that was number one. Gary Gabelich set a land speed record, a land speed record. That was number 5. In a rocket-powered automobile, that was number 3, called Blue Flame, Llama Azul. which was number 2. And he did it in this vehicle called Blue Flame, which was fueled with natural gas. Natural gas was number 4. And he did it at a place called the Bonneville Salt Flats. Now, these are located in Utah. And I think you guys know what a salt flat is. Piénsalo, vamos a pensarlo. Sal y plano. Eso es salina. Una salina is a salt flat. Remember, English is an extremely logical language. So excellent job, Chris Valrol. And I see Born to Iron Man got it on the second go as well. Hey, no problem. No problem. All right, what do we got to do? Well, I think it's time to go to the movies. Name that movie. All right, here we go. Now, this synopsis is chock full of amazing vocabulary. So I'll go through it and then we'll break it down. Lo desglosamos, okay? In Georgian-era England, wealthy Mr. Dashwood dies, leaving his second wife and 3 daughters destitute. The ladies move to a modest cottage where the 2 older daughters vie for the attention of various suitors in search of true love. All right, por partes. In Georgian era, Georgia, Georgian, okay? Era es una era, right? In Georgian era England, wealthy, adinerado, Mr. Dashwood dies, leaving his second wife and 3 daughters destitute. Destitute means without very much, without many resources, desahuciado, desamparado, okay? So destitute. Iba a decir destituto. I'm like, no sé yo. Hey, a veces cuela, eh? All right. The ladies move to a modest, do you say modesto or me lo estoy inventando? A modest, so not very flashy. Yes, recatado, discreto, I think you would say. Modesto too. So the ladies move to a modest cottage. And mira, otra palabra que tiene este aje que es idge. There's a cottage near the bridge, idge. And a cottage is a small, simple house. Cabaña o casita de campo. Cottage. 2 T's y acaba con aje. Where the 2 older daughters vie for. Now, to vie for is to compete for something, right? Luchar por es V-I-E. They vie for, y otra vez, no te aprendes solo vie, apréndelo con for, porque siempre es como listen to, right? Well, wait for. Well, to vie for the attention of various suitors in search of true love. And a suitor, I think you say pretendiente. Is that how you say it? A suitor. Yeah, mira, ojo. Pretendiente. Prospective husbands in search of, en busca de, true love. And ladies and gentlemen, we have got a winner. Please give it up for your movie queen, Chris Valrol. It's Sense and Sensibility. That's right, Sense and Sensibility, which is a movie that came out in 1995, directed by Ang Lee. Great director there, Ang Lee. I love all of his work. All right, let's take a look at the scene that I've chosen. Marianne says, Fanny wishes to know where the key to the silver cabinet is kept. Now, Fanny. Wait, didn't I say that means trasero o concha? Yeah, but it's also a name. Fíjate. I actually knew a girl from Canada named Fanny. Okay. So I didn't tell you that third meaning there. It's someone's name. So Fanny wishes to know, desea saber, where the key to the silver cabinet is kept, donde se mantiene la llave del gabinete plateado. And Eleanor says, Betsy has it, I think. What does Fanny want with the silver? ¿Y qué es lo que busca ella de silver? And here I think they're talking about silverware. Okay, silverware, forks, knives, very nice ones made of silver. And Marianne says, one can only presume she wants to count it. What are you doing? ¿Qué haces? Remember, we don't say, what do you do? We say it in el presente continuo en vez de en el presente simple. Porque what do you do es a que te dedicas. What are you doing? What are you? What are you? What are you? What are you? And Eleanor says, presents for the servants. Regalos para los sirvientes. Have you seen Margaret, by the way? Por cierto. I'm worried about her. She's taken to, and to take to something is que te gusta hacerlo. Empiezas a hacerlo con más frecuencia. She's taken to hiding in the oddest places, los sitios más raros, ¿no? Se esconde. Hide, hid, hidden. Oculto, escondido. And Marian says, fortunate girl. We looked at the pronunciation of fortunately before. Fortunate girl. At least she can escape Fanny, which is more than any of us is able to do. And then Eleanor says, you do your best. Haz lo mejor que puedes. You've not said a word to her for a week. No le has dirigido la palabra en una semana. And Marianne says, I have. I've said yes and no. So there you go, folks. It's Ang Lee's movie Sense and Sensibility. We're going to move on, though, because we've got a lot of stuff to cover still. So right now, it's time for your joking.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, what did the guy say when he walked into the bar? Ouch. Ouch. You get it? Ouch. He walked into the bar. You're joking.
All right, my amigos. I decided we're going to take a look at some marriage jokes today. Mira, otra. Marriage or marriage? Their marriage was under a bridge. ¿Ves? Estamos viendo, como ve, ya cuando empiezas a verlo, hay muchas palabras que tienen este aje al final. All right, my wife, just before, she told me to stop impersonating a flamingo. You say flamenco? We say flamingo. So yeah, she asked me to stop impersonating a flamingo. So I had to put my foot down. Tuve que poner el pie abajo. So flamingo stands on one foot. But do you know the expression? To put your foot down is to be serious. Ponerse firme. You have to put your foot down. They're taking advantage of you. So you get it? A flamingo. So my wife told me to stop impersonating a flamingo. So I had to put my foot down. It's a funny one. All right. I also, after that, I asked my wife to embrace her mistakes. She gave me a hug. You get it? Embrace means to hug, but it also means to accept. So I said, embrace your mistakes. And she gave me a hug. So I'm her mistake. Abrazar, pero también es acoger o aceptar. All right, one more. Okay. Remember, love is blind, but marriage is a real eye-opener. Well, you say the same thing, right? El amor es ciego. But marriage is a real eye-opener. And an eye-opener is una sorpresa, una revelación, right? It's an eye-opener. Te abre los ojos, te hace ver. So you get it now? All those three double meanings there. So love is blind, but marriage is a real eye-opener. Folks, those are your jokes. I hope you enjoyed them and learned those double meanings, but it's time to move on to famous birthday trivia. All right, amigos. Our first birthday boy was born in 1959, an American comedian, musician, writer. He's known for parodying the most famous songs ever. He's got, for example, instead of Michael Jackson's, "You know I'm bad, I'm bad," his is, "You know I'm fat, I'm fat. When I go to the movies, I take up 7 rows because I'm fat, I'm fat." He also has another one rides the bus, and another one boards, and another one boards, another one rides the bus. Otro se sube al autobús. He's also got, instead of beat it, he's got eat it, and so many others. This guy's awesome. He really is funny. And if you like spoofs, parodies, he's your man. Number 2, this Taiwanese American director has done so many movies. He has done, well, the one that we looked at today, Sense and Sensibility, in 1995. He also did The Wedding Banquet. Wait, we were looking at some marriage jokes. Brokeback Mountain, The Life of Pi. Pi es pi, el número. Es un homófono para tarta. Right? Pi, The Ice Storm, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Hulk, the 2003 Hulk, and last but not least, here's this guy. I would say the number 1 TV host ever in the United States. And even Pablo Motos, who I know and we have spoken about this guy, said that he adores this guy. And I think anybody who's ever sat at a desk in front of a microphone with cameras, they had to get something from this guy because he was more than just a presenter. He was a cultural phenomenon. Okay. The king of late night television. Nobody did it like him and nobody ever will. And they all know that. And that's why he is the legend. And if you know how he was introduced, then you'll understand the reference in The Shining. Here's Johnny. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Chris Valrol. Number 1, Weird Al Yankovic. Number 2, Ang Lee. And number 3, Johnny Carson. Let's take a look at today's Say What soundbite. It's Johnny Carson, and he's going through a list of things you're not likely to hear. You know how now 10 things, 5, he started those lists, but back in the 60s. Top 5 things you'll hear at the company picnic. And it was great, you know? And so he says he just told one that bombed, que no triunfó, and the audience didn't laugh. So he says, well, you try, uno intenta. He goes, not everyone is a pearl, no cada uno de las bromas o frases es una gema, es una joya. He says, you go through them, you say, will it work? Might work, quizá funcionará, con el público. And if it doesn't work, big deal. ¿Y qué? No es gran cosa si no funciona cada chiste, cada frase que escribes. Then he goes back into the list, things you're not likely to hear. And he says, the rarest expression used on Wall Street is, but wait a minute. That wouldn't be ethical. And eso no sería lo ético. And obviously, Wall Street is not concerned with being ethical. They're concerned with making money. All right, so here he is. I suggest you can find him all over YouTube. I suggest you take a look at Johnny Carson, best moments, best bits, however you want, and you'll see how everybody who's doing it today owes something to here's Johnny, and here's Johnny.
You try. Not everyone is a pearl. You go through them and you say, will it work? Might work. It doesn't work? Big deal. The rarest expression used on Wall Street is, but wait a minute. That wouldn't be ethical.
Hi, hello, Alberto. I think the song is... No? Sorry, bye.
Name the lyric, name the lyric, name the lyric, name the lyric only on the show with no name, the show with no name, the show with no name. Name the lyric only on The show with no name. The show with no name. It's made a lyric only on the show with no name.
That's right, folks. Awesome job. What can I say? Thank you so much for all your energy, for all your effort. You guys are awesome. Thank you. And don't forget to stay tuned, because up next, you've got Ale and Speaking with Confidence. All right, well, folks, this song is, of course, going to be a Weird Al song, and it's Another One Rides the Bus, and another one comes, and another one comes, another one rides the bus. We know the original is Another One Bites the Dust. So thank you again, and keep up the great work. And we'll hear from many of you tomorrow in our question of the week. I'm really excited to hear from all of you. We had so much participation this week, and I thank you for that. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, he plays the accordion. Gotta love it. Well, he's of Polish ancestry. Another one rides a bus. Riding in a bus down the boulevard.